You know what? If people from the Iron Age had traveled to our time and they saw how we are living, they would have called us slaves. Because the way we are living today looks nothing like freedom. Hi there, my name is Bjorn. I'm a historical novelist. I live here in Norway. I'm a Viking Age enthusiast, and I was recently in Denmark visiting a reconstructed longhouse. And it struck me that back then it was all about the community. People depended upon each other. Now it's all about isolation, and we have the loneliness epidemic, which is probably the worst health crisis of our time. Today people think that they are free if they have no social obligations. But if you look around you, do you see happy people? Do you see free and happy people? Or do you see people who are just struggling to pay the rent, struggling in life in general? Lonely people, especially young people, unable to start a family. And is that freedom? Is that freedom, sitting there doom scrolling on your own? Is that freedom? I don't believe so. It was very cold this morning. It's the beginning of May, but there was frost on the ground. So I felt that I needed a big fire this morning. They say that animals in captivity often will not breed because they've been removed from their natural habitat. What does that say about this so-called modern society, where the birth rates are plummeting? What does that say about us and the way we are living? I am actually tempted to say that this is all by design, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is all by design? I know one thing. If you remove a human being from his or her tribe, you weaken that individual. And I think that, let's just call them the powers that be, they know that a man or a woman without a family will be much easier to control. Because let's say that man who has no family, who has no kids, he doesn't really have anything to fight for. So why would he care? Contrast that to a man who has a family, who has kids. He will fight. He will fight, he will die for those kids. And he will fight for what he knows is right. And that's a threat. That is a threat to our globalist overlords. Their agenda is very simple. Let's just call it atomization. Separate the men from the women, break up the families, demonize so-called traditional family values, put each individual in a little box, like animals in cages, prevent them from forming tribes. You know that movie Matrix, where they keep people in these pods, using them as batteries? Our so-called modern society is starting to look more and more like that, where people are just batteries to power Big Brother state. When you step out of society a little bit, which I do a lot, you see it very clearly. You see how far it's gotten. And my intention with these videos is to, well, hopefully wake up some people that are not already awake. I know a lot of you guys are. You can see what's going on. But many, they can't. Now, I talk a lot about forming tribes. here on this channel. Well, this channel, this community is a tribe. And let's face it, we can't go back to the Viking age. But we can still form those tribes. And I think a good way to do that is to use, technology. There is a social media platform that I like, actually. Folk Realms is a fantastic place on the internet. It's the best place on the internet. It's a social media platform without the bullying, without all the nonsense. There is no AI there. And it's a fantastic place to connect with people, real people. It's for anyone interested in our European roots, mythology, our pagan roots. Folkrealms.com is the sponsor for this video. So come and join me over there at folkrealms.com. Our ancestors, they survived the Ice Age. They survived famines. They survived wars. So I think that we should not give up. We should not give up. We should keep fighting. And if you're not fighting, this is your call to action. Join this tribe here. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to. It's for free. And reach out to like-minded people. I think it was in my last video that I talked about the et. That's your kin, your family, or your tribe. But what seems to be very obvious is that the so-called modern world has replaced your et with addiction. Addiction to social media, addiction to your smartphone, addiction to all the pills and potions that big pharma wants to sell you, But we must break free from that addiction and reclaim a natural way of life. And I do believe that a natural way of life involves having a family, having children. Now there's an interesting trend among young people now, where young men more and more are saying that they want children, while young women say that they don't want children. If you look at the attitudes among young women now, it's shocking. They are generally extremely hostile towards men. And that's what we call a result of social engineering. And none of this is random. This doesn't just happen by chance. And it's so obvious to me, and I find it shocking that people refuse to see what's going on. By making children, having children, almost a luxury, the powers that be have effectively sterilized the working class. And let's face it, most of us are working class. If you have to work to pay your bills, you're working class. Cynical globalists, they can always import workers from poor countries, and that's what we're seeing right now. That's what is happening right now. So how do we fight this? Well, we fight this by building our tribes. Your et, your family, your kin. That's how we fight this. We need other people. And we will also stop listening to big government, big tech, big media, big pharma. And instead of listening to those, we will connect with nature and a natural way of living. The ultimate act of rebellion in 2026 isn't marching in the streets, protesting, screaming at other people. No, it's building a family. It's reclaiming a natural way of life. The ultimate rebellion in 2026 is is connecting with your tribe and making that tribe far more important in your life than, you know, the so-called modern world. I think that for us to live full and happy lives, we have to disconnect from the so-called modern life. And yes, I get it. We have to work and all of that. I'm actually now quite close to the edge of the forest here, and I can hear the cars over there, people driving to work and all of that, and yeah, I get that. But still, we don't have to go along with every official narrative or any of the official narratives. We need to reclaim our sovereignty, and we need to connect with our tribe, and we need to ensure that our bloodlines continue. Now, I upload videos every Saturday and sometimes midweek as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in learning more about life in a Viking longhouse, there should be a thumbnail popping up here on the screen, and you can click on that and check out that video. So yeah, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Skål.